Hello, World Studies. It is Mrs. T talking to you from the past. I am going to help get you some more information and prepare for your big Socratic. You guys did an amazing job in your small Socratics yesterday. I heard lots of really cool questions, comments, and opinions. And so I'm really looking forward to getting to hear your big Socratic on Friday, but you're going to need some prep time and some direction. You don't even know your prompt yet. So I'm going to walk you through pieces of a packet that you picked up on your way in class today, packet number 10, called Response to the Holocaust, Resistance and Rescue. You'll see at the top here we have a quote by Ellie. The question is not why all Jew did not fight, but how many of them did. Tormented, beaten, starved. Where did they find the strength, spiritual and physical, to resist? And so our focus as we move towards your big Socratic is going to be on resistance and reaction. How were the horrors of the Holocaust met during the Holocaust, before things really got off track, and even after, and we're going to be focusing on those things. But the first thing that I want you to do is to take a look at this graphic organizer on the front of number 10. There are 4 terms here: victim, perpetrator, bystander, and rescuer. Your first task when looking at these is to do question number 1. How would you define each of these roles? So the first thing you're going to do is write a very short, in your own words, description or definition of how you would define each of these roles, or maybe even examples of things that you consider to be these roles. The second thing that you are going to do is answer question 2, which of these roles is not actively chosen? Therefore, which role do you not actively go up to and claim or take on? The third thing that you're going to do is to, in each of the 4 squares, complete the quadrants from your own experiencing, meaning example for number 1, victim. Where's the time that you felt like you were a victim of something, or were a victim of something, and your own personal experiences, and doing that for each of the quadrants or each of the 4 terms. And then the fourth thing I want you to do is to consider the question, should these same roles apply to nations, not just individuals? And so after you get a chance to do that, and Miss Brooks and Miss Robertson will pause me here until you've had a chance to take care of all of this and discuss a little bit or ask questions, we are going to move into the nitty-gritty of preparing for your big Socratic. So if you will turn the page over to the back side of page 1 when you are completed, we're going to get into the directions. So I have provided you with a variety of primary source documents from the time of the Holocaust throughout all of the times of prior to World War I through, or prior to World War II through World War II, and as things come to an end in World War II and the reactions afterwards. So the first thing that you're going to do is read the documents in your packet and look at the guiding questions to aid you. What should you be looking for? Where should your focus be in reading this? You do not have to answer the questions unless you feel this will help you in the Forget-Me-Not Socratic. So you do not spend a lot of time writing out in complete sentence your detailed answer unless you want to bring these points up or ask that question or answer that question in the Socratic. So if you look at the bottom here before I get to step number 2, let's talk about really quickly what's in your packet. Do not rely that someone next to you is going to be able to carry all of this for you, because each of you has a little different mixture of documents. So your Socratic will have multiple sources of reference. So it will be intriguing. So it will have multiple viewpoints as well as the viewpoint of your child of the Holocaust. You are responsible for coming prepared with your part. Coming prepared to a Socratic is part of the overall grade, and this is your first big discussion grade. So make sure that you've looked through here. I'm not asking that it be completely actively read, but some notes to reference during the Socratic, especially if you feel like, oh, everything I thought I was going to say has been taken. Having some extra notes or questions in here will really be helpful and save you to be able to contribute. Remember, one of the norms that you guys talked about in class today was that everyone needs to contribute. We all need to be able to give our opinion to have a successful Socratic. So, after you have answered, after you have looked at the documents and looked at the questions in your packet, made some notes, maybe jotted down some questions, you're going to go on to Edmodo. Many of you are like, when are we going to get back on Edmodo? Well, I have a little outside assignment for you to do. No worries. This should all be fairly quickly executed. You already have a lot of background knowledge from Night and your child of the Holocaust and our Holocaust discussions. So looking at the document should just be some extra resources or sources for you to bring into the Socratic. So after you do that, you're going to go into our Edmodo site, either an advisory or when you get home, and you are going to look under our group post, and it says, after reading the documents in your packet, answer the following questions on Edmodo. And I want you to focus towards, what does the word resistance mean? What is necessary for someone to resist something? Why would someone choose to resist something? And what forms can resistance take? I want you to answer all the questions to the best of your ability, even if you have to take a guess. Be detailed, and feel free to discuss with other students amicably. Remember, our norms of discussion in Socratics is that you value everyone's viewpoint and be polite and do not attack. You can post by hitting reply right here to this message, and this is due by Friday. Okay, so it should be a really quick little discussion post. It doesn't have to be complete sentences or paragraphs. Reply to someone if you feel the necessity to, or you have a question to ask. This is going to be a practice run on the material for the Big Socratic on Friday. So after you're done with your Edmodo assignment and reading your packet and prepping for your Socratic, you need to know, before I get off of here today, what your Socratic prompt is so that you can focus your reading towards that. So get out your QD sheet for me, please, and I'll let Ms. Robertson and Ms. Brooks pause me until your QD sheet is out for QD number 1 for 9/19. So you'll have 2 dated for 9/19. This is the first one. Okay, so our QD for today, the first one of 9/19, and your prompt for the Big Socratic on Friday. Imagine your child of the Holocaust survived, or take on their persona if they are still alive, so pretend you are them, and you are now about 82 years old. What is your reaction to the world's response or reaction to the Holocaust? So imagine that you are the persona of your child, and whether you were deceased or missing or still alive, you are now them at about the age of 82. You are going to discuss in your Socratic and ask questions about what your personal response or reaction to the world's response or resistance or non-resistance or non-action or action during the Holocaust was. So I want you to go ahead and practice some questions or responses that you would give to this in your Big Socratic, and you'll have 3 minutes starting now. And keep expanding, keep asking questions, keep writing responses, maybe making some notes. You have about less than a minute. About 5 seconds left. And there you go. That's your first QD of the day. We are complete with it. So you have your assignment to prep for your Socratic. So make sure that you have looked through your packet, filled out the graphic organizer on front, address those questions on Edmodo, and come in prepared to have some awesome discussion, awesome Socratic, your first big discussion scores on Friday when I am back. So I will miss you guys. And see you on Friday. Good thing about this is if you get confused, this video is on Edmodo, so when you go to answer your questions, you could re-listen to any part of it you want, or if you're already tired of my voice, you can just make sure you have it all here. I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.